Hello, my name is Tyler Lemkin. I'm a private art collection curator based here in Los Angeles. I was brought in to help with the art selection for here at Gardenhouse Row House 1. The goal of what I brought in here was to try and coordinate with the idea behind the architecture and the building and kind of unify that idea of garden and unique architecture into the art selections as well. Take a look at this first painting in the main living room. It's by an artist named Audra Weiser. She is another Los Angeles native, and her work has to do with reflections and how light plays on natural elements. Her process is very unusual in that she makes a drawing, then builds paint up over that drawing, and then sands back to reveal her image. So she sort of works in reverse of how you would think a common painting is made. This one she's sanded back to kind of get an image of the ocean, or almost like a shimmering light along a river. Here we are on the second floor of Row House 1, and I want to talk about this beautiful painting by Jennifer Wolfe. Her work is really interesting in that she goes out into the countryside, into the hills, and finds her own pigments from rocks and stones and chips away at them, sort of like the old Renaissance masters did. She grinds her own pigments, puts them down on a very wet canvas, and then manipulates the painting from the back. So there's really not a lot of brushwork, if any at all, and then she lets the painting dry. So you get a really nice organic feel. This painting is entitled Rincon, which is a very famous surf beach in Santa Barbara. And I always sort of think of it as a scene of a low tide as the waves are kind of pulling back and the sand is getting dragged across the rocks. Going to a totally different style of art, we're gonna check out a beautiful work on paper in the back bedroom. So here we are in one of the guest bedrooms in Row House 1, and I wanted to bring your attention to this beautiful little work on paper by an artist named Alexandra Cho. Her work is sculptural, but it's made out of paper, so she layers her works up and up and up, and when you get up close to it and see the details of it, you'll see that it really is a three-dimensional quality to it. Her work has this sort of organic feel. I thought of Gardenhouse and the wrapped garden wall, and I thought there's a great connection there between architecture, sculpture, and painting all in one piece. And it really kind of hones in on what I was trying to do with this collection. Here we are on the top floor of Row House 1, and there's a couple of fantastic works up here. One of which I wanted to highlight was this work by Ariel Horowitz. It's a sculpture made out of steel and wool that the artist has sewn by hand behind the stretcher bars. Ariel's work deals with geometry and architecture and negative space and translucency. So there's an interesting push and pull that you can see through the sculpture and also play with the architecture behind it. It turned out to be just the perfect fit for this space. There's another beautiful freestanding sculpture by an artist named Koji Takai. This work references Pablo Picasso's famous guitar sculptures and paintings. It's in that cubist form that Picasso was so famous for. And it addresses deconstruction and reconstruction and the object itself and how many small parts can make a larger whole. I hope you enjoy taking a closer look at some of the artworks here at Gardenhouse Row House 1. I encourage you to come by and check out the rest of the works. There's a lot to be seen here, and there's beautiful architecture and an amazing building. Great opportunity to come see it yourself. Please visit the Gardenhouse website, schedule a tour.